Bonjour or bonsoir, depending on when you're watching this. Welcome to your open house video about French class. My name is Amanda Barker, if we haven't met yet, and I am the teacher of levels 1, 2, and 3 in French. And then we have the wonderful Madame Mills, who teaches French 4. So for some of you, this is my third year of having your student at Pius, some of you second year and some of you first year. But I feel like one of the luckiest teachers in the school to get to know your kids for 3 straight years. It's such a pleasure for me to see them and to get to know them for that long. And to get to know you all. It's really nice at conferences to always see familiar faces. So I'm sad that we can't meet in person or see each other again in person for open house, but I'm glad to be able to reach you all in this way on this video. Looking forward to hopefully seeing you face to face sometime this year, if we're lucky. So I am looking at my normal open house PowerPoint, so I apologize if I look down. But to introduce myself, my name is Amanda or Mandy Barker. This is my 5th year teaching at Pius, so some of you I've even had your older kids, and now younger siblings are coming in, which is super fun for me as well. So some of you I've known for 5 years now. I have experience in other schools in the city, like Southeast and Lincoln High. My bachelor's and master's degree are both from UNL, and I also have an English as a second language certification from UNL as well, along with my master's. I studied in Paris for a semester when I was an undergrad, and after I graduated before my master's, I taught in a little town called Loches, which is about 2 hours, hour and a half south of Paris. Both wonderful experiences. So I love to talk to your kids about my experiences in France as well. But originally I'm from Omaha, but have been living in Lincoln for 10 years, just about. And for those of you that I do know, your kids usually are calling me Mademoiselle in class, but this year I got married this summer, and so you'll be hearing them call me Madame now this year, which is very strange for me as well as for them. So for all you level 1 parents, and I will be talking about level 1, 2, and 3 in this book, I thought even if you're level 1, it might be interesting to hear what your kids are going to be doing come level 2 and 3 as well. So level 1 kids, they will have a new French name in my class. So we pick French names that they go by every day in my class. And so if I refer to them by their French name, that's why. And when I talk to you for conferences, I might know them a little bit better by their French name, but I promise I do learn their real names as well, just learn their French name first. But this is just something really fun that we can do in French class. It kind of helps them create their own little creative French identity, and they get to hear what French names are like and pronunciation. A lot of people like to pick their name, but the French pronunciation, if there is one, and that can be really fun as well. So for all levels, the supplies have not changed much, just a little bit extra this year. They definitely need a writing utensil every day. I do not use a textbook in my classroom, and so I make all the notes and materials and exercises that I give them, and I ask them to put it in a binder. So instead of a textbook, they'll be using a binder for my class. And we already have set these up in level 1, and most of them seem to have it. And then they need a folder for their journal, which they keep all 4 years of French. So if you're level 2 and 3, they already have a journal, but level 1, they do need a journal. They should all have a French-English dictionary, especially this year because I'm trying not to loan out my class set too much, just so that there's not 6 different hands on all of my dictionaries. So certainly if they don't have one for the day, they can borrow one from me, but I really would like them all to be bringing their own dictionary to class every day, and it's required for level 1. So level 2 and 3 kids should have gotten one in level 1. And level 1 kids this year will need to get one. I do sell them for $6, or you could get them from elsewhere. If they do get one from elsewhere, I just ask them to show me so that I know they have one. And if they have older siblings that have one that they're not using, they are more than welcome to use that as well. So some overviews of each level, what we are doing in each level. So level 1 is the basics. I tell them they're going to feel like they're back in kindergarten, which can be a good thing because we do lots of fun activities, coloring, art. We go back to learn colors and numbers and the alphabet. But it can be frustrating as well because they're not going to know how to say as much in this level. But we learn how to express our likes and dislikes, our emotions and our feelings. We learn how to talk about school, and then we start comparing French and American culture in regards to home and family life, and then eating, foods, restaurant behavior, which everybody always likes. I apologize if you can hear my dog playing with his toys. And level 2 is really fun. We will do a thorough review of level 1, which will be great this year since I didn't get to finish out the year with level 1 last year. We talk about our daily routines, places around a city. We do a fairy tale unit, which is really fun, and then they write their own fairy tales. And then we go into the past tense, which is a pretty complicated tense in French, and so we spend the entire second semester on the past tense. And we learn travel vocabulary, and we do a unit about Paris. And we do the normal stuff about Paris, the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre, and then I try to help them get to know some more obscure parts of Paris as well, or abstract, and we learn how to use the metro. So if any of you are planning a vacation to Paris, probably not anytime soon, but in the future, they will be able to get you around the metro after French too. And then we learn about environmental laws and practices in France and compare them to the United States, because France is pretty far ahead when it comes to trying not to waste resources. They're really good about not wasting food, and it's actually not even legal for restaurants and grocery stores to throw out food. They either have to donate or compost. So we talk about practices like this, which the kids always really find very interesting. And then in level 3, we do a review of the past tense. We learn about an island in the Caribbean that is francophone called Martinique. We learn about castles and medieval life, which is really fun. Impressionism and Impressionist art, religion, religious vocabulary, and religious laws in France, which are also very different in the places where you can and cannot express your religion or religious beliefs, which might not be used to here in the US, not being in certain situations where we can't outwardly show what religion we are. So that's very interesting. And then we talk about our 2 tenses for the level 3 are imperfect and conditional, which is wasing and worrying, would, coulding, and shoulding. And then we read a play, Cyrano de Bergerac, which is a play from the 1800s, but it's still so fun and relevant to read today, and they'll really enjoy it. And we also watch some film, more so in level 3. I'm not against watching French movies for practice, but I do want them to watch it at a level where they're going to understand. And so I usually save most of the movies for level 3. And also if your student is in level 3, or if they are a junior or senior who is in level 1 and 2, they will be invited to French Club this year. We meet in French Club once a month, and I'm actually have just taken a survey of what day is going to be the best for everybody, so I'm not sure what day this year it's going to be. We're going to start in September, let us all get used to this crazy year for a couple weeks before we start club, but it's just once a month right after school. It usually lasts till about 4 or 4:15, sometimes 4:30 if we're doing something really special. And it's a great opportunity to get to know people that are in the other levels of French, that are in the other classes, to get to know Madame Mills, especially for my students who have me for 3 years. They get very nervous having a new teacher for French 4, and Madame Mills is actually from France, and so she can be a little bit intimidating because I know they're more intimidated by a native speaker than they are of me. And so it's just a really great way for them to get to know her. She's fantastic and she's super fun in club, and then of course they can add it to their resume that they were involved in French club. So I really encourage them all to join French club. We have a lot of fun. And then I wanted to say a little bit about the app Remind. I love to use this in my class. I've used it for a couple years, but you can download an app or you can just use it in the way that you would a text message. but it's a messaging system where your students and I can message each other, and it looks like a text message, but no one is sharing their real phone number. So it gives them a fake phone number for me, and I get a fake phone number for them. Or through the app, we just choose each other's names when we want to message each other. So I suggest Remind because I tend to shut my email off after I leave work. I tell the students it's actually illegal in France for your boss to contact you about work after 6 p.m. in the evening, and so I've tried to live the French way, and I don't look at my work email after I leave work, but I do understand that there are also times where a student will need me after 5 o'clock at night. And so Remind is a great way to get a hold of me. Since my email doesn't go to my phone, Remind goes right to my phone, and I can usually answer it pretty quickly because my phone is always near. And so they can use the website or text the number 81010, or you can download an app. If you're gonna text, you text 81010, and then the message that you send is at Barker FR1 for level 1, at Barker FR2 for level 2, and at Barker FR3 for level 3, and these are also on their syllabus, how to add me. And then that way they can contact me, I can contact them. Also, messages are saved in the app, so we can always go back and look at a previous conversation that we had. And I send out reminders for their online homework, conjuguemos. Usually try to send one out the night that it's due, a couple hours before it's due, to remind them to do it. Or I'll send them out things that maybe I forgot to tell them they need something in class, so I'm trying to contact everyone. For instance, since I'm not letting them use, or not encouraging them to use my class set of dictionaries unless they really need to, I sent out a remind today telling level 3 to please remember to bring their dictionary to class tomorrow because they're going to need it. And I don't want everybody using mine. So this is just really a convenient way to remind them of things or let them know of things. If you're not comfortable with them having remind, they're not going to miss out on anything except for extra reminders on their conjuguemos assignment mostly. This was really, really convenient as well in quarter 4 last year when we weren't together in class, for them to contact me, for them to turn in their homework, and for me to send out messages faster as well. So if you're comfortable with allowing them to have Remind, I really encourage it. And you are welcome to look at Remind as well. And then I also do a project in my class called La Gentillesse, which is random acts of kindness. And they might tell you about it. So this really doesn't have much to do with friends. It's just a community building activity that I like to do in my classroom. But every student in every French level has the name of another student in their same level. And I encourage them to do at least 2 random acts of kindness for that student whose name that they have. It is a participation grade. It's a small one. It's 5 points per act of kindness, so it's 10 points total. And then I told them they can get extra credit if they do an extra one. I didn't want the grade to be the only focus or reason why they do it, but I also wanted the grade to encourage them all to do it. But they do not have to spend any money on what they do for this person. It's just kind of supposed to be a way for them to say, hey, I'm thinking about you, or I hope you're doing well, or I thought of you when I saw this and wanted to give it to you, this kind of thing. So kids draw each other pictures a lot, write each other cards, make each other playlists, but they could buy each other snacks or drinks or something like that is very common as well. I try to encourage healthy snacks, but it doesn't always work out that way. But if they are talking to you about, I have to do something for my French partner for this project, please don't let them think that they have to spend money or they have to buy them. I always encourage them to think outside the box. What could you do for this person that is from you and it's creative and not necessarily something that you just quickly bought? But I know the kids like getting snacks from each other, so that is totally okay too. And then I will add a French movie list on here on their Power School with this video, but it's just a list of family-friendly French movies that I think would be great for your students and even your family to watch if you have family movie night. I do tell them to be careful with some French movies, especially on Netflix and Hulu. Read the description first, check a rating, because some French movies can get quite risque, more so maybe than an American movie of the same rating. And so I do have a list for you of great family-friendly French movies that I encourage everyone to watch, but I do encourage them to watch them because it's such great practice and a way to hear native speakers. But if your students are looking for extra practice or you want them to have extra practice, I recommend Quizlet.com, or there's a Quizlet app. Lots of students find Duolingo really helpful, and I can always tell when a student has been doing Duolingo because they do learn some words and phrases on their own before I teach them. Looking over notes, writing out words if they need to practice spelling, practicing with a partner or tutors. We always have students in the higher levels of French who are willing to tutor. And I tell them you do not need to be failing or doing poorly or be confused to ask for a tutor. You can just ask for a tutor if you want someone to practice with, want someone to hold you accountable for this time every week. Say you meet once a week for 25 minutes, and that's your time to practice French, whatever you might need to practice. So have your student or you all can contact me if they are interested in a tutor, or if they are struggling with something, a tutor is a great way to get help as well, and I can always try to set them up with one. And then another thing I want to talk about is participation points. So level 2 and 3 parents know about these already. Level 1 parents, your students are required in my class to speak French, and they are required to do at least 20 participation points a month, and they will get this little slip of paper, sorry I don't have one, that I call a euro, and it's just a little piece of paper, and every time that they speak to me in French, they get a euro. So they can get them in class, they can get them before and after class, before and after school. If I hear them speaking French with a friend, I'll give them one. But it's just to encourage them to speak and to let them know that this has to be a part of class in order for them to learn. Some kids are really nervous about talking in class, and so I have had students get all their euros before and after class because they didn't like to talk in front of the class, and that's completely fine as well. But it really will affect their grade if they are not doing well on euros, and so I really try to stay on top of watching their grades so that I can try to encourage the kids who aren't doing them, because it really affects their grade. And so that's something that maybe you all want to keep an eye on as well. And they also do have an opportunity to get extra credit euros every month. So say I require 20 a month, they can get 25 for 5 extra credit points, and that really helps their grade. They can also continue to go above 25, and I have a competition every month where the person in each level that has the most wins a free assignment pass, or they can get extra credit on a quiz or test, and they can use that throughout the entire year. So that's a good motivator as well. And I think that's all that I've got in my PowerPoint for you all. I really appreciate you all taking time to watch this video, contacting me with whatever questions you might have. I always try to stay in contact with parents about good things and bad things, and I just appreciate your support so much in being there for myself and for your child in their French journey. I'm really excited to have them in class, either for the first year or the third year. I'm very thankful to be with them in person for this year for as long as we can be. So please don't hesitate to contact me for any reason. My email is amanda.barker@piusx.net, or I can be contacted via Remind as well. So until I see you, hopefully sometime soon, au revoir.